I want to put out a disclaimer. I am not affiliated with the state board in any way, shape, or form. I am just a licensed esthetician in the state of Maryland who wants to see my Estie besties win. Hi, my loves. It's your girl, Bria Janae. I am the owner of Intuitive Flawless Wellness as well as the Esties Corner, and I am here with an update for the Maryland practical exams. This first portion, I'm just going to tell you about all of the updates that are taking place, and then in the second half of this video, I'm actually going to do the practical step by step as if I were actually taking the exam. This is for 2026. I am currently recording this in February of 2026. So please, if you're watching this video after February 2026, just do your own due diligence. Go to the Maryland website for PSI and look up your esthetician guidelines. They have it where you can print it all out. It is going to look like this in the front. The Maryland Esthetician Test Taker Guide from PSI. It's gonna look like this in the front. You can download this or you can print it out. So this is the old one. This is from 2025 when I was taking my exam, and I'm going to tell you about all of the updates for the new exam. Just please do your due diligence, because if you're watching this, maybe even in June, it might change. So I just want you guys to do your due diligence. Also offer one-on-one sessions. So if you are not sure where to start, or if you watch this video months later, maybe even a year later, and you're like, okay, I don't even know what the updates are or how to find the updates, you can book a one-on-one call with me. The call is free. I have a couple of sessions that I do a one-on-one call where we could talk about any questions that you may have regarding the test. I can give you just a little bit of guidance on where you can find the PSI website, what updates are taking place. I also try to keep it on my website so that it's just easily accessible for people. But then also you can book another free call with me, which is your bag prep. So if you already have all of your materials for your bag prep for the practical test, I can let you know, okay, what you can take out of the bags, what you can include in the bags, and we can go like that. But please be aware that Maryland does not have a suggested list for any of the things that you bring to your practical. It's all based on what you would normally do, as if you were running your own business or if you were working in a salon, whatever. Actually, if you want to be even more technical, everything that you have done in lab, you're going to make sure you try to incorporate that into your practical exam. I also offer a mock practical exam call. That one is $44. It's going to be an hour and 15-minute session. And with that hour and 15 minutes, we're going to go over the practical step by step. And I am going to, in the moment, just kind of not correct you, but guide you. I go based off of your learning, your pace. So it's a lot more easier to do it that way when it's one-on-one. But like, I have these videos here, which is free. Let's get into all of the changes that are happening. Okay, so for starters, this, like I said, is the old practical test kit, and I printed this out and I wrote my notes because it helped me to be prepared and study. I'm gonna go through the rundown of what they used to do so you can see the difference. This test used to be 95 minutes. They are now making it 85 minutes. So they cut you guys down quite a few. You used to be able to do topic area 1, which was your workstation preparation. You would have 10 minutes. Topic area 2 was your eyebrow waxing and tweezing. It said varied timing, meaning they would just take the time to go through each individual person in the room, and depending on when everyone stopped is when they would tell you to move forward. Then you would have your basic facial, which was 25 minutes, and your makeup application, which was 25 minutes. And then the end of day cleanup, which was 10 minutes. So I'm gonna now go over the changes that they made. So once again, you are now doing your test in 85 minutes, okay? Your workstation preparation is pretty much the same. You're still going to have 10 minutes to prepare your workstation. When you're preparing your workstation, they're making sure that you are properly following sanitation protocols. All this practical exam test is all about sanitation, infection control, and safety precautions. They want to make sure that you understand infection control and safety precautions. So please keep that in mind. Your basic facial, it used to be 25 minutes, but now it is 20 minutes. And it's also the second part of the test. Before, they used to do the eyebrow waxing and tweezing as your second part of the test. Now they're doing the basic facial. So after you set up your workstation prep, you're now going to move into your basic facial, which is 20 minutes. At first, I said when you're taking out your workstation preparation, you're just going to have everything that you need. Like, actually, let me see if I have it here. I don't have it here. Hold on. So I'm going to be looking at my computer, so excuse me. So I said that before, I said all you would need is your examination setup. So that's going to be your Clorox wipes or your disinfection wipes, your gloves, your hand sanitizer, a roll of paper towels, your astringent, your alcohol, and your first aid kit. That's what I originally said that you guys will only need for the bag one or for the workstation preparation. Because they're changing it up and making you do the facial next, I'm going to also change up the way that I do the bag prep. So just give me a couple of weeks to, not even weeks, just give me a couple of days to get that video out, because I want to kind of like sit down and figure out how I'm going to rearrange the bag prep. But I am thinking in this moment that you're going to have everything that you need for workstation preparation, but instead of just that, you're also going to include your cleansers, your toner, your everything, the brushes, everything that you would need to prepare for a facial client. And the reason why I say that we're going to bring all of that out in this workstation preparation is because you still get 10 minutes to set up for the workstation preparation. When you move to the basic facial, they're only giving you 5 minutes to set up. So if you only have 5 minutes to set up and take out all of your products and all of the tools that you're going to use, you're most likely going to fail the exam, because they kind of screwed us over with that one. So instead of you getting the full 10 minutes to set up, you're only going to get 5 minutes to set up for your basic facial. Okay. And then you're going to have 10 minutes, which is still the same as before, to complete the facial. So that isn't as nerve-wracking. And then you're going to have 5 minutes to break down. The breakdown being 5 minutes is what they used to have anyway, but it sounds like that's quick, but it's actually so easy. You're going to put your things in your multi-use or your single-use bags. If your sponges, your whatever, if it's disposable, you're going to put that in your single use. If you have towels, if you have products that you can use again, your brushes, you're going to put that into your multi-use. And then you're just basically going to throw the stuff where they need to go, and you're going to disinfect, remove your gloves, and move on to the next step. Now, part 3 is the wax and tweezing. So they are going to give you 5 minutes to set up. Because waxing and tweezing isn't really much that you need to set up, you're basically just going to have your client, you're going to have your tweezers, you're going to have your wax, you're going to have your astringent or your toner, whatever you need, your muslin strips. That's not going to take long to set up. You're going to have 5 minutes to set up. Then they're going to tell you to wax on one brow. So you're going to pick a brow that you're going to wax on, and then you're going to tweeze on the other brow, the opposite brow, and you're going to have to tweeze 3 hairs. That is still the same, and you're going to have 5 minutes to break down. The wax and tweezing session, I thought I wrote it down here. I'm so sorry. But let me see. The wax and tweezing session is 20 minutes. So before the wax and tweezing session was varied timing, they are giving you 20 minutes to perform your waxing and your tweezing for your eyebrows. Then we have the makeup application. So for the makeup application, everything is still the same. Okay, so you are still going to get, let me go to it. You're still going to get 10 minutes to set up. You're going to have, you're going to set up everything for your makeup application, which is perfect because if you only had 5 minutes to set this up, I would be like scrambling. So yeah, you're going to have 10 minutes to set up for your workstation preparation. You're going to do whatever you need to do. And if you guys remember, or if you're new here, I said pick 3 areas. So for me, when I took my test, I did eyeshadow, blush, and lipstick. That was so easy to perform on the mannequin, and you don't need to carry a lot of products with you. And then after that, you'll have 5 minutes to break down. So that's all the same. So I did eyes, lips, and blush, or eyes, lips, and cheeks. And you can pretty much do the same thing or pick something that's your strongest suit. You can do some eyebrows. You can like draw some eyebrows on a mannequin. Whatever you decide to do, it's up to you. The last part, it used to be called end of day cleanup. I noticed that it's still technically the same thing that you guys are doing, but instead of it being called end of day cleanup, I don't know if you can see that, end of day cleanup, it is now called prepare for next client. You still get 10 minutes. So what's different in this section is instead of you cleaning up everything, because typically you would just clean up everything except for what you already took out in the beginning, you're still going to leave that there. You are now going to still clean up everything, but also clean up as if you're preparing for your next client, if that makes sense. So this is where you can still have your client out, but you're just cleaning up everything else, if that makes sense. You're still disinfecting, you're still following the safety protocols for infection control. And it's still the same time, 10 minutes. Brief intermission, because I forgot to mention this. Last year when I was taking my exam and when I recorded the video, I said that I pretended that I was having 3 to 4 clients when I was taking my exam. So I had a facial client, a brow client, and a makeup client, and my makeup client was my wedding client. So I really think it's interesting that they are adopting this and they're saying instead of end of day cleanup, you're preparing for your next client. So it'll be easy for you guys to kind of ease some of your nerves by pretending that you have clients when you're going into testing and not feeling like you're testing. I'm still going to do the same thing as far as end of day cleanup. So once you're done with that section, they'll say, okay, this concludes the test, and then you can pack everything up. When you guys pack everything up, it doesn't not matter how you pack it up. Once the test is over, once they say the test timing has ended, you just throw everything back into your duffel bag. They don't want you leaving any trash, any debris, anything there. They want you to still put everything back into your duffel bag. Nothing that you brought in is being kept there, including trash. Okay, so once you're done with your disposables, you're literally just throwing everything back into your duffel bag or your container, your bin, whatever you bring for your kit. Another thing that changed was before they used to say that your test results will be ready within like 15, maybe 30 minutes. Now they have a disclaimer at the bottom that they need 48 hours. I don't know if they're still going to take 48 hours to upload your test results. I doubt they're going to take that long. I really, truly doubt it. It's literally, I don't know. I think it's like a click of a button. But I think that they're just trying to cover their tracks to make sure that they get all of the test results in, especially now that the time is shorter. So I think that it's going to take the proctors a while to make sure that they're accurately inputting the results. I want to put out a disclaimer. I am not affiliated with the state board in any way, shape, or form. I am just a licensed esthetician in the state of Maryland who wants to see my Estie besties win, okay? I want to see you guys win. School is expensive, and you should have the tools and the knowledge out there that are going to help you propel and move forward. But unfortunately, a lot of these schools are not doing their due diligence and making sure that there are right people in place. So that's no shade, because it's not just one school. It's like a lot of schools that I've noticed with my clients. They're like, oh, we don't even have the tools. We don't have the resources. I'm just like, baby, we spending a lot of money, you know? So That's my disclaimer. Also, like I said, the PSI, the Maryland State Boards, they do not have a suggestion list of products or materials that you bring to your exam. However, because I've taken the esthetician exam, I know exactly what is really like needed and required, and I've been doing some tweaks and things. I am also offering my own kits that you guys can purchase from me. You do not have to purchase the kits from me. You can download my list for free, but I am just here for the people who need convenience, the people who are like, I don't even know what to start, where to look for, but I'm going to post another video for the bag prep, and I'm going to actually take you guys with me to the dollar store so you can see like how you can buy everything. I spent about $30 to $40 at the dollar store, if I'm not mistaken, just for the products for the kit. But then I still also had to go on Amazon, and I didn't have a duffel bag, so I borrowed my sister's duffel bag, so I didn't have to purchase that. But what I'm trying to say is it's doable. You could spend under $100 just getting the things that you need for your kit. But if you would like convenience and you don't want to have to spend the time purchasing stuff, labeling stuff, and all of those things, I have pre-made kits ready for you. And I make the kits to order because I can't guarantee a specific list. Now that I know that they are updating and changing things, I kind of want to be very like accurate when I'm providing these kits. Even though I have a list, it's still up to you to do your due diligence. But if you purchase a kit from me, I got your back. So I have 2 kit options for those of you who value convenience and do not feel like going to the stores to create your kits and purchase and look for the supplies and everything. So kit number 1 is $89. It comes with everything you need in a cute little tote bag that you can use at any time in your life. That's yours to keep. Kit number 2 is literally the same thing, except it comes in the duffel bag, which is going to be the state board approved like exam kit that you can bring. So everything is just going to be completely 100% prepared for you. And that is $116 for kit number 2. I am also experimenting right now with a Esties buyback program. Everything that you get in these kits, you can keep. You can use that for your own business. You can use that when you move and go into the workforce. Whatever you decide to do, those are your kits to keep. Along with the kits, I also offer a free one-on-one mock session. So if you want to just get the mock session and it's $44, that's perfect. But if you need a kit, I would suggest don't get the mock session, don't purchase the mock session. Purchase the kit because you get a free one-on-one mock session that you can schedule at your convenience. Whenever you are ready, it could be before your test, you schedule it at your convenience. And what we do is we do the mock exam one-on-one. I go over everything that you have in your kit to make sure that you have like all of the tools, all of the resources. I can deliver these kits to you, hand deliver them, free delivery. I can ship them out to you, free shipping. With the Esties buyback program that I am experimenting with, I am going to allow people to purchase the kit, whether it's kit 1 or kit 2, and you can still get your free one-on-one mock exam with me. And once you're done with your kits and you've passed your exam and you said, I don't even need any of this. This is probably more convenient for lash techs. And you say, I don't need anything in this kit because I'm not going to be doing facials. I'm not going to be doing, I don't need nothing. Okay. Then what we can do with the Esties buyback program is you're going to return your kit to me as is. Like the way that you just threw it in your bag after your exam, you return it to me just like that. I'm going to go through everything. I'm going to disinfect things, toss out the disposables, and reuse that kit so that another esthetician can get the chance to use it. And the reason why I'm going to be doing it that way is so that I can have an option 3, which is a refurbished kit. And that is going to be at a lower price for estheticians who probably just cannot afford an $89 kit or $116 kit, or they know that they don't need any of that stuff. So I'm trying to do that. So it's only gonna work if you guys do what I say. No. But seriously, I really want to try to help as many estheticians that I can, and I know everyone's situation is different. Everyone's financial situation is different. Everyone's journey is different for how they're going to go about in the field. So I'm trying to do that. So with the buyback program, you return everything to me as is. I'm going to do my due diligence and take care of everything, disinfect, etc. And you will receive $26 back cash. I will come and pick up the kit, or you have the option of shipping the kit to me, but I'm going to give you cash for the kit. And it's going to be $26 because, and that's if you get the $89 kit, let me pull out my handy dandy calculator, honey. If you get the $89 kit minus $26, that's, you basically paid $63 for your kit plus your mock exam. So the mock exam is $44. You pay $19 for your kit. That's a steal, okay? So you're going to get the $26. You're going to get it in cash. And then if you paid $116 for your kit minus 26, that's $90 that you essentially paid for your kit minus the $44 for your free mock exam. So you basically paid $46 for this kit. And I think that's a steal. So yeah, that is what we're going to do. That's what I'm testing out. So I have 2 kits right now, testing out a 3rd kit for refurbished. And I don't know what the pricing is going to be for that one yet. But depending on like the materials that I still need to get and to use in the kit will determine the pricing. So yes, but you do not have to return your kits. That is completely optional. That's just for people who are like, I don't need this kit, I don't need anything in it, but I just wanted to make sure I had everything I needed for the exam. Those are also, for you guys. You guys can subscribe to my newsletter at theestiescorner.com. And in this newsletter, it's completely free to subscribe. I do not send you any unsolicited emails. The only emails that I'm sending are updates. This is updates for esthetician students. This is updates for estheticians in general. So what it entails with our licensing. So any updates regarding our licensing, any updates regarding the state board exams, the practicals, the theory, things like that. So I send you all the updates. I also include job board updates. So if I get any whiff of like any places that are hiring and you're having a hard time looking for places to work, I update you guys with that as well, because I really just want to build a community of estheticians that feel supported, that feel seen. I know that in this field, in this industry, there's a lot of competition, and I don't personally believe in competition. I believe that we all have something unique to offer, and we could be offering the same thing, but our vibes are different. The way that people relate to us is different. So I don't believe in competition, honey. I believe that we all can win. There's a lot of money to be made here in the aesthetics world. Do not feel discouraged when people say, it's oversaturated, it's oversaturated. No, it's not oversaturated. People just don't know what to do with what they got. Clock it. They don't know what to do with what they got. There's so many different avenues that you guys can go in. You can be teachers, you can formulate your own products, you can help formulate products, you can go into the spa industry, you can be a unicorn and do facials and massages. You can be mobile. Like there is an opportunity for you to have like a mobile aesthetics business, but you have to go through the state and do the proper, do your due diligence. But there's just so many different things, and it's so important that you guys think outside of the box and just really lean into what your gifts are. Know who you are, know what your gifts are. There's just no such thing as competition, in my opinion. It's about building community and really helping and supporting each other. Also, another thing that I'm trying to do with the Esties Corner is create networking events. So if you guys are really interested in that, please, please, please sign up for my newsletter. Please fill out the interest form for that, because I really, 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 really want to like do Estie outings with estheticians, with lash techs and nail techs, even cosmetology students, and practitioners and licensed individuals. I like really want to really build a community with us and the wellness professionals. I want to get us all together and do networking events and like do fun things. If you're interested in that, please, please, please sign up so that I can just send you information and updates on it, because I don't want to send it to people that do not give a fuck. Okay, so let's move on to part 2. Hi, my loves. Okay, so we are now in part 2 of the practical exam. Just a disclaimer, I am going to do this part 2 as if I'm actually taking the practical exam test. So I will not be talking or doing any type of stop and move. I'm just going to do it straight through. Before we begin, I wanted to do another disclaimer. Everything that I have prepped in this bag, the way that I have the bags prepped, are not exactly how you're going to have your bag prepped. I am going to create a whole new video for the new way that they're doing the practical so that you guys can prep your exam. I tried to get it as close as possible to what I'm thinking of how I want to do the bag prep, but this is not 100%, and I just want you guys to know that. But everything that I do in the practical, the steps that I take are exactly what you're going to do. It's just the bag prep is going to look a little different. Your bag, your duffel bag, can be about this big, this wide, this tall. Just make sure that your container is a closed container, okay? Do not walk in there with an empty container. Also, for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to tell you a few things that are going to look different and will explain more in depth when I do the actual bag prep. So, you are going to need 2 paper bags. Inside of the paper bags, you're going to need like a trash bag liner. I'm not using a trash bag liner in this video because I do not want to waste any trash bags, but you will need a trash bag liner, and it can be as simple as like another plastic bag that you use as a liner, or an actual trash bag. I got them from the dollar store, the flap trash bags, for about $1. And those are going to be inserted in these plastic bags. One is going to be labeled multi-use, one is going to be labeled single-use. So we'll go over that in the bag prep. Second, my paper towels are not in a Ziploc bag right now because I do not have any more Ziploc bags. But I had them in a Ziploc bag. It was kind of like this. It was in a Ziploc bag like this, and then another Ziploc bag on top, okay? So let's use our imagination there. The next thing, when I took my actual exam, I used this kind of bowl, just a facial bowl. You do not have to go out and buy one of these bowls if you do not have one. You can borrow one from your school if they allow you to borrow one, or you can get a silicone mixing bowl that we use when we're mixing our exfoliants or our powders and things like that. So you can definitely use this or this. For the video, I'm going to use the silicone bowl. And one more thing, I did bring water when I took my exam, but I did not have it in an actual water bottle like this. I put the water in a small little container like this, which is what you're gonna put your products in, but I don't have any more of these. But I put the water in this so that when I used it for my bowl, it was easier to just dump it out, and it was like the perfect amount. So for the sake of the video, pretend that this water is in here, okay? Don't bring a full water bottle. Also, you want to make sure everything is labeled. You may not see my labels. I wrote on some of these things, but when I do the bag prep video, I'll show you exactly how you can prep and label your bags. Also, I'm going to take my jewelry off for this video. because when you take your exam, you are not going to be wearing any jewelry. You're going to pretend that you are actually taking a exam. I'm sorry, taking clients. And when you're taking clients, you kind of want to refrain from wearing jewelry because it can get messy. I'm also going to put my hair up. You want to make sure that your hair is back, especially if you have a lot of hair. You just want to make sure it's back and out of your face. I'll show you my outfit. Let me move this table. So I wore all black, professional. I did not wear Crocs. I'm wearing Crocs right now, but I wore Doc Martens, so you guys can wear whatever black shoes you have. You just want to look very professional. This table is going to look, it's going to be like your back bar. So when you go into the exam, they're going to have like a back bar just like you have in school, but the only difference is in the middle of the room, at least for me at the Lanham location, in the middle of the room, there were barber chairs. Don't get freaked out. Don't worry about those barber chairs. You are not going to be using them because I got freaked out. I was like, what are we doing with these chairs? I ain't never seen this before, but you're not using them in this exam, okay? And when you come in, she's going to ask you to place your duffel bag under the table, and that's exactly what you're going to do, or your kit. You're going to come in and place it under the table, like that. So let's get started. I'm going to get my speaker, and I'm going to pretend that we're actually doing this exam. Pay no attention to this. This will not be on the table, but it's for the purposes of the video so you guys can hear it. Okay, here we go.
We would like to welcome you to the PSI National Practical Test. Electronics of any kind are strictly prohibited in the testing facility. Please raise your hand if you have any of these restricted devices in your possession so we may address your situation. If any test taker is found possessing any prohibited items in the testing facility, PSI will stop your test and you will be required to leave the testing facility immediately, and a report on your actions will be submitted to your governing authorities. Test takers are responsible for providing all necessary equipment and supplies needed for the performance of their practical test. Test takers are not permitted to assist other test takers in any way. Test takers are evaluated at all times throughout the test for public health and safety. If you have an emergency or need to use the restroom during the test, please raise your hand for assistance in leaving the testing area. You will be required to sign out and sign back in when returning. Keep in mind, the time will continue to elapse and any instructions you miss will not be repeated. Only one test taker may leave the area at a time. Please return as quickly as possible. The prompter will read instructions for each topic area, and the evaluator will facilitate the timing for each topic area and supervise the test. You are not allowed to speak or ask questions pertaining to the test content. A certified practical evaluator is responsible for observing and scoring test takers' performance and is not allowed to converse with test takers except to provide instruction when required in specific demonstrations within the topic areas. You are each provided with a red book to read along the instructions in your language. Please do not touch or turn the pages in the red book. However, feel free to reread the instructions for the topic as needed to understand the task. Evaluators are only permitted to answer general questions that are not directed to the test content. Are there any questions about the instruction you have been given? Topic Area 1, Workstation Preparation, 10 minutes. We will begin the evaluation of a daily workstation preparation. 10 minutes will be provided to prepare your daily workstation. The proctor will announce when there are 5 minutes left to finish. When you complete your task, please stand quietly. You may start. Timing begins now.
I want to note that right here is where I would have stopped on my exam, but now I am about to set up for the facial since the facial is the second part of the exam. So if we were taking this test last year, I would have stopped right there because I would have had everything for topic 1 complete. But now I'm going to set up for the facial since I only have 5 minutes to set up. There are 5 minutes left to finish.
Please stop working. The timing has ended. All scoring has been completed. We will now continue to the next topic area. Topic area 2, basic facial, 20 minutes. This evaluation is a basic facial. 5 minutes will be provided to set up your workstation and prepare your client for a basic facial. The proctor will announce when there are 2 minutes left. When you complete your task, please stand quietly. Start your preparation. Timing begins now. Please stop working. The timing has ended. 10 minutes will be provided to complete a basic facial. The proctor will announce when there are 5 minutes left to finish. When you complete your task, please stand quietly. Start your basic facial. Timing begins now.
It was at this moment where I realized I forgot to do the eye and lip removal first as a part of the facial. That's what I typically do before going in with a cleanse, but the nerves got the best of me. This really felt like I was taking the exam with you guys. And you see how I just keep moving with confidence? I even dropped it. Don't pick that up. You just keep moving along. You can pick that up at the end because you don't want to forfeit anything. What they're really looking for is, are you following proper sanitation and infection control protocols? And that's what I'm doing here. As I'm moving through the facial, I'm focusing solely on the client. And then at the end, when we do the cleanup, we will have the chance to go ahead and pick that up off the floor. There are 5 minutes left. I want you guys to notice a mistake that I made during the test. So I was not actually done with that hot towel, but I still put it in my multi-use. I was actually supposed to remove that gauze off of the client first so that I could remove the mask with the hot towel. But my brain kind of glitched out there. So I'm going to show you how I ended up correcting the motion. Mistakes happen, especially when you're taking a test, and it's very nerve-wracking thinking about the time. But the important thing is you never want to make it seem like you made a mistake or make it known that you made a mistake. Just take your time and correct it the best way that you know how. So because I didn't use the towel to remove the gauze, to remove the mask off of the mannequin, I just ended up using some 4x4s, and you can see here that's what I did. The reason I'm dipping my hand into these products is because I'm treating it as if this is a personal set of products that I pulled out for the client and that I'm not reusing these products again. So when I'm finished with these products and it's time to do my cleanup, I'm putting them in the single use because I have already contaminated the jars.
Please stop working. The timing has ended. We will now continue to the basic facial. 5 minutes will be provided to clean off your basic facial workstation. The proctor will announce when there are 2 minutes left to finish. When you complete your task, please stand quietly. You may start. Timing begins now.
There are 2 minutes left to finish.
Stop working, the timing has ended. All scoring has been completed. We will now continue to the next topic area. Topic Area 3, Eyebrow Waxing and Tweezing, 20 minutes. This evaluation is eyebrow waxing and tweezing. 5 minutes will be provided to set up your workstation and prepare your client for an eyebrow wax and tweezing. The proctor will announce when there are 2 minutes left to finish. When you complete your task, please stand quietly. Start your preparation. Timing begins now. Please stop working and stand quietly. Please stand quietly and wait for the evaluator. Please complete a waxing procedure on one eyebrow. Begin now.
Please complete a tweezing procedure on 3 hairs. Begin now. Please stop and stand back quietly. You have completed your demonstration. Please stand quietly. We will now continue to the eyebrow waxing and tweezing. 5 minutes will be provided to clean off your eyebrow waxing and tweezing station. The proctor will announce when there are 2 minutes left to finish. When you complete your task, please stand quietly. Start your cleanup. Timing begins now. Please stop working. The timing has ended. All scoring has been completed. We will now continue to the next topic area. Topic area 4, makeup application, 25 minutes. This evaluation is makeup application. 10 minutes will be provided to set up your workstation and prepare your client for a makeup application. The proctor will announce when there are 5 minutes left to finish. When you complete your task, please stand quietly. Start your preparation. Timing begins now.
Please stop working. The timing has ended. 10 minutes will be provided to complete a makeup application. The proctor will announce when there are 5 minutes left to finish. When you complete your task, please stand quietly. Start your makeup application. Timing begins now.
I want to apologize for this whole makeup session. I literally thought the camera was getting all of this. I was trying to focus on doing the task and looking at the camera at the same time, so it was just really hard. So I'm so sorry. Shawty pressure, shawty fine, face card never decline.
Please stop working. The timing has ended. We will now continue to the makeup application. 5 minutes will be provided to clean up your makeup application workstation. The proctor will announce when there are 2 minutes left to finish. When you complete your task, please stand quietly. Start your cleanup. Timing begins now.
There were a couple of times throughout editing this video where I realized I did not have to take my gloves off as much as I did. Like one right here is a good example. I just took them off and ended up putting on new ones. I literally did not have to do that, but sometimes my brain just starts glitching and I just overthink and do things. So if you're an overthinker like me, it's completely okay. Like I said, just take your time and you should be okay.
Please stop working. The timing has ended. All scoring has been completed. We will now continue to the next topic area. Topic Area 5, Workstation Preparation for Client, 10 minutes. This evaluation is a daily workstation preparation for the next client. 10 minutes will be provided to prepare your daily workstation preparation for the next client. The proctor will announce when there are 5 minutes left to finish. When you complete your task, please stand quietly. You may start. Timing begins now.
gonna take a pause here. Now that I'm going through the test, I think that instead of having the mannequin, I think what we're gonna do with the mannequin is at the end when they're saying prepare for your next workstation, we're gonna put the mannequin in our multi-use bag because we're no longer needing her. And I think I'm gonna have a bag prep with fresh towels so that it looks as if we are preparing for a new client. So after you do the whole wiping down of the table, we're gonna pretend we have some fresh towels. We're gonna bring those fresh towels here. And prepare for our next client. I think that would be the best way to do it. And then you stand and wait for your next direction. You have 5 minutes left to finish. Please stop and stand quietly. Please stop working. The timing has ended. All scoring has been completed. The test timing is complete. This concludes your PSI National Practical Test. Please make certain your floor is clear of debris and your workstation has been cleaned with disinfectant. Clear your work area of all the items you have brought into the room. Return all trash and supplies to your kit to carry out with you. When you are finished, raise your hand and wait for the proctor to sign off your work area. Test takers, begin your test cleanup. This is the part of the test that is no longer being graded, so that's why I did not put the timer here. You're essentially just going to pack everything up. Make sure you put your multi-use in your multi-use bags, your single-use items in your single-use bags, and then you're also going to take both bags and just throw them into your duffel bag or your plastic container, whichever one you brought. Once again, you are not being graded at this point, but you still want to clean up, have some decorum, and yeah. Also, if you're wondering about that red folder, that is typically what they use to help you read the instructions. The proctor actually goes around and flips the pages for you. PSI would like to thank you for coming today. You will receive your score report via email within 48 hours. Please direct any questions about your results to the email address or phone number listed on your score report. We cannot answer any questions about the test or your test results. Have a great day. You are excused. And that is the end of the test, my loves. I hope that you found this video helpful. Congratulations in advance for passing your esthetician exam and becoming a licensed esthetician. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And once again, if you're watching this video maybe in June, July, towards the end of 2026, please continue to do your due diligence and just make sure you have the updated version, or you can visit my website, the PSI website, in order to ensure that you are taking the right test. I will try my best to make sure that I keep updating my channel as the test updates, but I could miss it every once in a while, so just keep a lookout.